This is Mika's story of his life. Reader Lauri. Duration 6 minutes. Life through a dark lens. My name is Mika. I'm 26. I do not have a profession, but my vocational qualification in business and administration studies begins soon. I currently work at Goodwill on wage subsidy. I was born and raised in rural area just outside Hamina and Karhula called Tavastila, into a very ordinary Finnish joint family consisting of my mother, my father and my 3 older brothers. I can't remember much of my early childhood other than the constant visits to the hospital because of my unknown eye syndrome, which at the time didn't affect my lifestyle at all. And I somewhat remember being obsessed with hedgehogs. I often hear from my relatives how much I've changed from when I was a child. I used to be overactive and always putting my fingers into things I wasn't supposed to. My family and friends have always been near and dear to me, in my childhood and later in my life. Friends change and leave, but you can always make new ones. Family members pass on, and you can forever cherish what they taught you. When I first started studying back in primary school, I used to hate it. But it's almost like someone flipped a switch in me. And in the 5th grade, I started putting real effort into my studies, and soon realized I was actually pretty good at them. When secondary school started, life decided to throw a curveball at me, and my eye syndrome started getting worse. I started going to the hospital more regularly, until they couldn't help me at the local hospital and I had to start going to Helsinki for my appointments. I missed weeks of classes, and when I went back to school I had to start wearing sunglasses. Because of the extreme light sensitivity, light reflection, and my corneas being thinner than average persons, I couldn't participate in certain activities, which led to people trying to bully me, some teachers questioning me wearing sunglasses in class, which led to my aggressive behavior at the time. Still finished secondary school without trouble, though all my future plans were in shambles. I couldn't go for any of the professions I originally planned for, and people at the time said to keep going with high school. 3 more years to plan the future. Didn't have a clue after finishing that. Decided to apply for English University in Worcester for history and culture. Flew to England ill-prepared, ended up not working out, and came back to Finland. Eyesight kept getting worse, uni didn't work out, felt completely demoralized, and shut everything out, friends and family. After a while stopped answering phone at all, started getting social anxiety when the phone rang. Even if I knew I needed to answer, I just couldn't. Then after a while I met friends online, started playing role-playing games with them, like Dungeons and Dragons. Started talking with my parents about feeling motivated to try again. They introduced me to a social worker who guided me to a support person program called Vörtti. Taking part in their group activities really helped me with my social anxiety. After my time at Vörtti, I wanted to keep pushing forward, so I started at the Sotec Foundation's part assembly in Karhula. I was happy just having a place to go to most weekdays. Then COVID came around and the assembly was shut down. Then a while later my dad passed away, and I fell into a spell of depression. But this time I didn't want to stop and get stuck again. So I went back to Sotec Foundation, but wanted to try something different. Since the part assembly didn't feel right for me, so decided to try going to Goodwill Hamina. I was thinking this would end up with them ending my contract early, because of how quiet I was. But slowly I started getting into it, and finally felt like I found something I really enjoy. Goodwill's motto is "Find a reason to smile", and for me, I honestly feel like I have found a way to keep on smiling. My current future plan is to get business and administration profession and put myself out there even more, like I'm doing right now, writing this. There are hard times, but there's also new dreams and goals. Never give up.